Great. So these days it looks like I'm getting happy just because I see it's working. Great. So thank you, Internet, for giving me a chance to help those people to practice their English and improve your English. So hello guys, hello everyone, welcome to our one more lesson for better comprehension of your English and for the improvement of your fluency of speaking, of course, and your pronunciation, because anyways you copy the way I pronounce English words. And of course tempo, we are talking about speaking pretty fast, we are talking about reacting on pretty fast speed of speech, and that is why you're here for our lesson. And we start lesson number 6 of our marathon, and we start with the revision as usual. And after that I'm going to get a surprise for you, because actually still this is the course which is our official course which we prepare ourselves. We got one lesson substitution, especially for some of the students who was asking about this specific topic, as a topic actually she was desiring to learn pretty well. So that is why today we have a substitution of topic. Substitution means we changed one topic with another topic. For today we were supposed to review some of the tenses we were practicing before, but instead we get like extra topic, extra task for you. So thanks to our student for asking me about this topic, and welcome guys for getting extra practice. So this is going to be the comparison of present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous. Actually, these are two types of action we don't use a lot, but sometimes we use them, and we need to know and understand when to use them and in which cases and situations we choose one or another topic, present perfect continuous or past perfect continuous. In comparison, today we practice with you. But first we start with our revision of previous lesson number 5. So let's go. As usual, you repeat everything I say, you go with me, you follow me. I really hope our signal will be much better today, and we will cover our lesson pretty fast, and we will do our revision and then new material. So let's go. Repeat with me everything. Past simple versus past continuous. We use the past simple for an action in the past. I drew the picture last night. We use the past continuous for an action that we were in the middle of. I was drawing from 5 to 7 p.m. last night. We do not normally use the past continuous for states. We do not normally use it. As for the past simple, we use it for states. The show seemed really funny and sophisticated. Repeat with me. Sophisticated. Seemed. Draw. Paint. So draw, paint. We often use the past simple and the past continuous together when shorter action happens in the middle of a longer one. Do we use the past simple and the past continuous together? Yes, we use the past simple and the past continuous together. Don't forget, you repeat with me, okay? You go with me every sentence. Question and answer. Right now, we do the revision. You know all the sentences, that's why we go pretty fast. We revise everything, we repeat everything, we just go and try to say maximum number of sentences together with me, okay? With my tempo. Of course, not this one instruction, which I pronounce and actually tell you in pretty fast speed, but everything I say about the topic, you need to follow with me. To follow me, not with me. To go with me, but follow me. So, follow me. When do we use the past simple and the past continuous together? We often use the past simple and the past continuous together when shorter action happens in the middle of a longer one. Let's see some examples. Please repeat. While Margaret was sitting in her car, George bought some pizza in the nearest restaurant. Which part of given sentence demonstrates a shorter action? The episode George bought some pizza in the nearest restaurant demonstrates the shorter action. Which part of given sentence demonstrates a longer action? The episode while Margaret was sitting in her car demonstrates the longer action. Let's see some examples. Please repeat. As they were driving down the hill, a strange mystery object appeared and sparkled in the sky. Which part of given sentence demonstrates a shorter action? The episode, a strange mystery object appeared and sparkled in the sky, demonstrates the shorter action. Which part of given sentence demonstrates a longer action? The episode, as they were driving down the hill, demonstrates the longer action. Mystery, sparkle, strange. Some more examples, please repeat. The bus ran right past me while I was waiting for it at the bus stop. Which part of given sentence demonstrates a shorter action? The episode, the bus ran right past me, demonstrates the shorter action. Again, right? So about the bus. Imagine me staying on the bus stop. The bus ran right past me while I was staying on the bus stop. So which is the shortest action? The bus ran right past me demonstrates the shorter action. Which part of given sentence demonstrates a longer action? The episode, when I was waiting for it at the bus stop, demonstrates the longer action. So, run past. It means to go next to me right here and to go away. Just at once, okay? So, we use the past continuous after as, while, and when. So, we use the past continuous after as, while, and when. As they were driving down the hill while Margaret was sitting in her car. So repeat, when one action comes one after another, we usually use past simple verbs. For example, when the driver saw the accident, he stopped the car immediately. Or we can say, the driver saw the accident, stopped the car, and called the police. So don't forget to repeat with me, okay? Don't just listen. We often use the past simple for an action in some story. That is why most articles are written in the past simple. Do we use the past continuous when one action comes one after another? No, we don't use the past continuous when one action comes after another. Do we use the past simple when one action comes after another? Yes, we use the past simple when one action comes one after another. Do we use the past continuous for an action in some story? No, we don't use the past continuous for an action in some story. Do we use the past simple for an action in some story? Yes, we often use the past simple for an action in some story. We often use the past continuous to describe the background. It was raining yesterday for the whole day. Do we use the past simple to describe the background? No, we don't use the past simple to describe the background. Do we use the past continuous to describe the background? Yes, we often use the past continuous to describe the background. So please make a sentence in the past or the past continuous. As he ran for a bus, he collided with a lamp post. As he was running for a bus, he collided into the lamp post. She sat in the garden when a wasp stung her on the cheek. She was sitting in the garden when the wasp stung her on her cheek. I sat down on a chair while she painted. I sat down on a chair while she was painting it. Because we have while, right? While means it's going to be past continuous after it. Good. When the door opened, they see that the sun shine. When the door opened, they saw that the sun was shining. So here, actually, I will remind, they open the door and they see. One action comes after another. And by the way, see, it's actually state verb. We never use it in past continuous. We use it in past simple instead, right? So that's the reason. They open the door, that's an action. It's kind of a story. They tell the story. Open the door and see something. State verb, and story, it's past simple, definitely. One action comes after another, and then third action, they start to observe the sun shining, but the sun shining is about background description. That's why we say it in past continuous. So, Joseph get electric shock. No, Joseph have electric shock when he touch the wire. Joseph have an electric shock, like when he touch the wire. So, what is the form? Joseph had an electric shock when he touched a wire. So, Joseph had an electric shock when he touched a wire. Okay, so good. We have a couple more sentences to describe. Yeah. So, repeat with me the words. Collide. Collide. This is this thing, right? Lamp post. Lamp post. This is the thing we can see in the street, right? Steam. Steam, stun, stun. So this is a regular verb, which is not so widespread actually, but you need sometimes to know this, because instead of bite, you can use sting as well for some insects. Wasp. Wasp. This is exactly the insect you can say about sting. So now let's use the sentences in past simple or past continuous. So, the boys were in the middle of a game of football. The boys were playing football. No one told me about the change of plans. I didn't know about the change of plans. Is it the fact that Greek built this town? Did Greek build this town? So, when we talk about Greek, we actually talk about story, history, and that's why we use past simple here about asking. So, whatever it is, we ask question and we choose if it's negative or positive form depending on what kind of context we have it. So, summarizing yesterday's topic. When I talk about the choice between past simple or past continuous, sometimes we don't need to choose. Sometimes we put them together in one sentence, but it means that one action should be longer and one shorter action should be in the middle of a different one. So the longer action comes in past continuous and the shorter one comes in past simple. Also, another situation when we choose between past simple and past continuous, when we have one action coming after another. In this case, we have past simple, past simple, past simple, past simple, whatever. If one action comes after another, then we use past simple only. If we tell a story, we also use past simple. And if we talk about the background description, about nature, events, we basically usually use our past continuous action, because this is about the process, because the nature is active, it's moving, it's changing all the time. That's why background description about something happening, we should describe in past continuous. So this is about the sequence, like basic formulas of past simple or past continuous. And now we move to our new topic. So I'm just checking if our stream is going well. It looks like we have not very good quality. That's what I'm really unhappy about, but I really hope you will at least have good sound and hear me well. So, yeah, we go with our new material, practice. Just give me 1 second, I will get the new transcript of our lesson and we move to this one. Yeah, here we are. Here we are. So, as I told you before, we are going to practice past perfect continuous and present perfect continuous in a description. So we are going to go through pretty many examples, and my basic issue, the thing I want to ask you about, is to repeat with me all these longer sentences in order you first say and then you understand what you're talking about, and then you see the difference between two sentences. We will talk about the same situations with example from past perfect continuous and present perfect continuous in order you could see could feel the difference. That's why I would really appreciate you just repeat with me maximum, as we usually do during the revision, examples first, and then I will stop, make pause, and explain you. Okay, explain it to you. So yeah, let's go. First, when do we use it, and couple examples. Had you been learning English as a child? Had you been learning English as a child? Yes, I had been learning English as a child. No, I hadn't been learning English as a child. Have you been Have you been learning English before? Yes, I have been learning English before. Or no, I haven't been learning English before. So, compare two questions. Had you been learning English as a child? It means you're not a child anymore. Had you been learning? This is past perfect continuous. Have you been learning English before? It means before today, before nowadays. It is present perfect continuous. So that's the difference. Listen further. Have you been swimming in the pool for over an hour? Yes, I have been swimming in the pool for over an hour. Or no, I haven't been swimming in the pool for over an hour. Had you been swimming in the pool before it closed? Yes, I had been swimming in the pool before it was closed. So when we talk about pool, it depends on what time we talk about. If I just ask you about now, if you are in the pool now and I ask you, have you been swimming here for over an hour? You use present perfect continuous. But when I ask you, had you been swimming in the pool before it closed? It means I ask you about some period which is over. So the pool is closed, it's not working, and you are not swimming there, definitely. I'm asking about the period, the process which you could possibly do some time ago. So that's about past perfect continuous. So we use the past perfect continuous for an action which happened over a period of time. So when we talk about present perfect continuous, again, first past, yes, we use the past perfect continuous for an action which happened over a period of time, some period of time before, right? But we use the present perfect continuous for an action which happened over a period of time leading up to the present. So we talk about something which goes on until now, and then it's going to be present perfect continuous. When we talk about something which is over by the moment but had some process period before, we talk about past perfect continuous. More examples. Situation. My brother has been staying with me by the ocean for 2 weeks now. Has my brother been staying with me by the ocean for more than 2 weeks now? No, your brother hasn't been staying with you by the ocean for more than 2 weeks now. How about how long has my brother been staying with me by the ocean? Your brother has been staying with you by the ocean for 2 weeks now. Another situation. You have been playing tennis since 7 a.m. You didn't play yesterday. Have you been playing tennis since 6 a.m.? Yes or no? No, I haven't been playing tennis since 6 a.m. So no, I haven't been playing tennis since 6 a.m. I have been playing tennis since 7 a.m. Have you been playing tennis since yesterday? Yes or no? No, I haven't been playing tennis since yesterday. I have been playing tennis since this morning. So pay attention. When you talk about time which is still going on, it means I am playing here, right? All the questions are in present perfect continuous. It means I keep playing and somebody is asking me, hey, have you been playing since 6 o'clock? I say, no, I haven't been playing since 6 o'clock. I have been playing since 7 o'clock. And another person is asking, hey, have you been playing since yesterday? And I say, no, I haven't been playing since yesterday. I have been playing since 7 this morning, right? So I started this morning, 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. So that's when I stopped started, and I still go on, I still play, and you see me, and then you ask me about how long. So that's basics about perfect continuous. Had you been playing tennis for the whole day yesterday? No, I hadn't been playing tennis for the whole day yesterday. I have been playing tennis since this morning. So the question is in past perfect continuous. Had you been playing tennis for the whole day yesterday? And I told you in the beginning of the situation that I didn't play yesterday. So it means no tennis yesterday, and it means the question about in the past perfect continuous will give you a negative answer. So had you been playing for the whole day yesterday? No, I hadn't been playing for the whole day yesterday. I just did it today, and I still do this. And because I do this up to now, this action happens in present perfect continuous. Going on. Have I been playing tennis with you for the whole night yesterday? No, you hadn't been playing tennis with me for the whole night yesterday, because I hadn't been playing tennis for the whole night yesterday. So the person is asking about himself and about yesterday. I have no idea if I play with this man or girl or no. I probably do, but not yesterday. And that's why the answer for the question in past perfect continuous is going to be negative as well. So again, somebody is asking me, had he or she, had I been playing with you tennis for the whole night yesterday? And I say, no, we hadn't been playing tennis for the whole night yesterday, because I hadn't been playing tennis for the whole night or any time of the day yesterday. I just started today at 7 o'clock, and I have been playing tennis, and I keep doing this right now. I'm at the tennis court right now. So that is the situation. Let's go to the next one. I have been teaching English since I was 16. Have I been teaching English since my university study period? Yes, you have been teaching English since your university study period. Have I been teaching English since childhood? No, you haven't been teaching English since childhood, because you have been teaching English since your teenage. 16, I told you. Had I been teaching English for 5 years? Yes, you have been teaching English for 5 years. So when we have the question about had you been teaching English for 5 years, and I have this experience, and I still teach English, and I'm doing this right now, that is the reason why I say yes, I had been teaching, and I still do. That's why I change it with present perfect continuous, which means the action, which it tells about the previous period, this 5-year period, but still it's going on now. I use present instead of past. Present perfect continuous. Yes, I have been teaching English for 5 years. So I started 5 years ago. I actually started earlier, and I still do this. But about 5 years period, I can definitely say yes. So that's where we use the present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous. These are situations when we talk about some period of time, some action takes place, some process takes place. But when you talk about past perfect continuous, we actually have a limit of this action. It's not going on anymore. But when you talk about present perfect continuous, we talk about action which is still in process. For example, I have been living in this house for several months, and I'm still living here. Actually, I still live here. We use the present simple basically when we talk about live. There are exclusions, but mostly people say in present simple using the state verb live. But the basics here, I have been living here, we can also use it as exclusion, or we just can say I have lived here. I have lived here. So there is this thing about live. There is a difference when we mean talking about some process, some shorter process or longer process. So I can use here the present perfect continuous or present continuous because it takes me here for not a long period. If I was telling about this apartment, this house where I'm living now, as for a long period life, which would mean that I'm not staying here temporary. I'm renting this place. That's why I'm staying here. That's why I can use it in continuous. But if I were talking about the period of several years, and if this house belonged to me, this specific one, if I was talking about my house, I would say it in present perfect or simple. I have lived here for this period, or I live here now. So that's what we use. So the difference between live in continuous and live as a state verb in simple or perfect is that we talk about shorter period of time. Then we can use it as continuous form, or we talk about longer period. Then we cannot use it in continuous. We basically use it in simple or just perfect. So moving on with one more situation. So let's go with some examples of for, since, lately, and recently. We can use for, since, lately, and recently with the present perfect continuous. So actually, as we were discussing about different other tenses, specific words can actually associate us with some action type. Let's rephrase the sentence in the present perfect continuous, please. Helen got to her office early this morning. 11 hours later, she's still here. Helen has been working in her office for 11 hours. So this is going to be the present perfect continuous form about Helen. She has been working here for 11 hours. Has Helen been working for over 12 hours today? No, Helen hasn't been working in her office for over 12 hours today. So again, Helen has not been working in her office for over 12 hours today, only 11. So, another situation. Melanie has got a very interesting book. She started reading it quite a long time ago. And we need to know how long. How are we going to ask it in present perfect continuous? Let's see. Melanie, how long have you been reading this interesting book? So that's the way we ask. Situation about Stuart. Stuart went into the water, sea or the ocean or the pool. Stuart went into the water half an hour ago. And he's still there. He actually is not going to come out yet. He's not going to come out yet. Come out it means to get back from the water. And how actually are we going to describe the situation? Half an hour in the water, what was he doing? Of course, swimming. So, Stuart has been swimming for half an hour. Stuart has been swimming for half an hour. So that's what he was actually doing. So now we are going to try to choose the correct option between two sentences. Choose the right sentence. When she called, Natalie had been having a violin lesson for an hour. There ain't one. When she called, Natalie was having, once again, yes, two variants. When she is, for example, Margaret, right? So when she called, just give me a second, I don't see our streaming. Okay, fine, good. I see the connection is fine. Sorry, I keep getting interrupted because sometimes I just check if the connection is fine, because I get away from my chat from a guys checking the stream. So again, to our example, we need to choose right sentence. So we are going to choose between present perfect continuous or past perfect continuous. Pay attention on some other tenses which we use together with our example. So first example. When she called, Natalie had been having a violin lesson for an hour. Or, when she called, Natalie has been having a violin lesson for an hour. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is, when she called, Natalie had been having a violin lesson for an hour. Choose the right sentence. Mary looks very upset. I think she had been crying. Mary looks very upset. I think she has been crying. So the correct answer is Mary looks now, right? Mary looks very upset. I think she has been crying. Because we are talking about a situation right now. We see Mary, we see her face, and we try to analyze the situation by now. She has been crying before this moment when we started to look at her. So, next example, again about our Mary. Mary looked very upset. Mary looked very upset. I thought she had been crying. That's variant number one. Variant number two. Mary looked very upset. I thought she has been crying. So the correct answer is Mary looked very upset. I thought she had been crying. So that's what we call sequence of tenses. I saw Mary yesterday, for example, or months ago. I saw her. She looked that moment. She looked upset. Not now, but that moment. And that's why I thought. That was also in the past. I thought that she had some process before I got this thought, right? So that's the reason why we actually use here past perfect continuous. So let's get 4 more examples. But before, let's clarify again about states. So we discussed and we got a couple examples about leave, right? About states. Question to you. Do we normally use the past perfect continuous for states? No, we don't normally use the past perfect continuous for states. What do we use instead? We use the past perfect instead. Do we normally use the present perfect continuous for states? No, we don't normally use the present perfect continuous for states. What do we use instead? We use the present perfect instead. So, clarifying again, right? We do this for you to say all these rules together with me. We are not kind of learning only grammar. We learn grammar through the context of our examples. And that is the reason why I need you to repeat everything I say. I need you to improve your speaking skills and construction building, right? So the construction, the building of sentences, and your also intonation correction. That is the reason why we try to get more examples for our rules of grammar, and at the same time to get some new formulas of vocabulary. By the way, I would definitely say that this last lessons we didn't have a lot of new words because the topics themselves are really grammar concerned. That is the reason why we are going to have extremely much vocabulary the next lessons. So, like tomorrow, we are going to talk about the categories of future, and we are going to have like very, very many phrasal verbs and new expressions, which will give you extra vocabulary. So don't worry that you don't get a lot of progress during this several beginning lessons of your marathon. I promised you that we are going to have a lot of words, and we have them all in our course. You will really practice very many pretty hard structures and pretty interesting, which you're going to use a lot in your English. I hope you're going to use them a lot in your communication. But now we have a review of all our basic types of actions in English, so we kind of make our background for further communication, for the structure of our sentences, and after that we are going to use a lot of lessons for vocabulary, extra vocabulary, using all these formulas. That is why I stopped here for this very important thing, to tell you that if you feel that some of grammar topics we are reviewing these days, starting from lesson 1 through lesson 6, please get back to some of the lessons with your files of practice, because you are going to really need these grammar structures later, and you will actually have no time to revise them further, because you will have a lot of time spent for new vocabulary constructions and new vocabulary practice, and we will get longer sentences with a lot of formulas. So for example, today I started with a summary of 4 formulas of the use past simple and of the past continuous together. We started with formula 1 by 1 action coming, storytelling with past simple use, nature background description with past continuous, and also using shorter action and longer action together with past simple and past continuous together. These are already 4 formulas. These are 4 formulas you are going to use in your practice for the lessons. And this is only about the previous lesson. So from this lesson we get extra formulas which you're going to use. That is why I get you back to the topic. Please go back to lessons 1 to 5 if you feel not confident about your grammar revision here, and after that, because after that you will get more concerned not on the grammar but on vocabulary, as this is about your vocabulary improvement, but also your listening skills improvement, and of course your speaking practice and fluency of speech improvement. So moving on, we get still some examples. I'm checking if we follow the frame of timing. Yeah, we're fine with timing. We still have 15 minutes, no, like 12-13 minutes, and we have enough time for our end of the explanation of topic and also for our extra revision. So about correct sentences. So the place where we stopped, we were talking about no use of state verbs generally with present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous. If we have the word like see here, we basically don't use them in this type of action. We basically use them only in perfect instead. So present perfect or past perfect. If you have something about observation of some object outside, you don't say I have been seeing him. No, you say I have seen, checked, because it's a state. Or I had seen him before yesterday, before the beginning of the match. I had seen him. Or I have heard. I've heard about this. It means I know about this situation. It's not about I have been here. You know, you don't use it like this. So because here, this is one of the state verbs. Moving on. We have like 4 more situation examples before we get to revision. This is actually about questions to you. Have you been eating your lunch until now? Remember, when was your lunch? Have you been eating your lunch until now? Yes or no? You can say, yes, I have been eating my lunch until now. Or, no, I haven't been eating my lunch until now. Because it would mean that you finished your lunch before the lesson, okay? So how about, had you been eating your lunch before the conference, some conference like a couple days ago? Had you been having your lunch before the conference? You can say, yes, I had been having my lunch before the conference, or no, I hadn't been having my lunch before the conference. I hadn't been having my lunch before the conference. Let's try again. 2 questions. I ask you a question. We say in positive and in negative form. Never mind, we just do this for practice. Have you been having your lunch until now? Have you been having your lunch until now? Yes, I have been having my lunch until now. No, I haven't been having my lunch until now. Had you been having your lunch before the conference? Had you been having your lunch before the conference? Yes, I had been having my lunch before the conference. Or no, I hadn't been having my lunch before the conference. How about the successful job interview? Imagine about having the interview for your new profession or your new job. Have you had a successful job interview recently? Have you had a successful job interview recently? Yes, I have had a successful job interview recently. No, I haven't had a successful job interview recently. Had you, have you been traveling all over the island lately? Have you been traveling all over the island lately? Lately, it means not long time ago. You can say, yes, I have been traveling all over the island lately. Yes, I have been traveling all over the island lately. Or you say, no, I haven't been traveling all over the island lately. No, I haven't been traveling all over the island lately. How about Emma? Couple examples about Emma. Emma came into the room. There was nobody in it, but the TV was on. Question to you. Had anyone been watching TV before Emma came into the room? Had anyone been watching TV before Emily came into the room? Yes, somebody had been watching TV before Emily came into the room. So we say had been watching because nobody is watching it now, but the TV is on. It means somebody was there. So another question about Drew. Drew broke his car and came to the garage to fix it. But everybody was busy fixing cars. Question to you. Had anybody in the garage been fixing cars? Had anybody in the garage been fixing cars? Yes, everybody in the garage had been fixing cars. Everybody in the garage had been fixing cars. So we're not talking about the situation happening right now. We're not talking about Drew trying to fix his car now, but he did it sometime before. And we have this in our example. That's why we use past perfect continuous in our sentence. So, summing up. When we talk about present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous, we have the situation when in present perfect continuous, we have the action happening for some period of time and some action which is still on. I have been doing my lesson with you for about 50 minutes. I have been doing this. It means I'm still doing it, okay? But I can tell about yesterday's session, yesterday's lesson. I had been doing my lesson for you yesterday for 50 minutes. So it would mean that I'm talking about yesterday and I'm talking about some action which is not going on anymore. Yesterday's lesson is over, but I tell about this as some process which was happening over some period of time. So that's the basic difference between present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous. And we only use both these action types. I don't say tenses because we actually have only 3 tenses in English and in any other language. Something in the past, something happening in the past, something happening with us in present, and something we are going to do in future. So 3 tenses only in English as in any other language. But we talk about type of action. Type of action, it's about some action we do in process and we keep doing. This is present perfect, the perfect continuous, and some action we had been doing and finished doing some time ago, whatever is time. That is about past perfect continuous. Now we go with our revision. So we have, we'll see. We should have like enough time for this. We are going to go all over the lesson. We are going to cover all our examples pretty fast. Where I will just ask you to repeat with me. You just go with me. You just repeat. When I just ask you questions, you just answer me with me, but not repeating the question as usual. So let's go. present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous. Had you been learning English as a child? Yes, I had been learning English as a child. No, I hadn't been learning English as a child. Have you been learning English before? Yes, I have been learning English before. No, I haven't been learning English before. Have you been swimming in the pool for over an hour? Yes, I have been swimming in the pool for over an hour. No, I haven't been swimming in the pool for over an hour. Had you been swimming in the pool before it was closed? Yes, I had been swimming in the pool before it was closed. No, I hadn't been swimming in the pool before it was closed. We use the past perfect continuous for an action which happened over a period of time. We use the present perfect continuous for an action which happened over a period of time leading up to the present. Situation. My brother has been staying with me by the ocean for 2 weeks now. Has my brother been staying with me by the ocean for 3 weeks now? No, your brother hasn't been staying with you by the ocean for over 3 weeks now. How long has my brother been staying with me by the ocean? Your brother has been staying with you by the ocean for 2 weeks now. Situation. You have been playing tennis since 7 a.m. You didn't play yesterday. Have you been playing tennis since 6 a.m.? No, I haven't been playing tennis since 6 a.m. No, I haven't been playing tennis since 6 a.m. I have been playing tennis since 7 a.m. Have you been playing tennis since yesterday? No, I haven't been playing tennis since yesterday. I have been playing tennis since this morning. Had you been playing tennis for the whole day yesterday? No, I hadn't been playing tennis for the whole day yesterday. I have been playing tennis since this morning. Had I been playing tennis with you for the whole night yesterday? No, you hadn't been playing tennis with me for the whole night yesterday because I hadn't been playing tennis for the whole night yesterday. Next situation. I have been teaching English since I was 16. Have I been teaching English since my university study period? Yes, you have been teaching English since your university study period. Have I been teaching English since childhood? No, you hadn't been teaching English since childhood. You have been teaching English since your teenage. Had I been teaching English for 5 years? Yes, you have been teaching English for 5 years. So, because we talk about something which is still going on. More examples. We can use for, since, and recently and lately with the present perfect continuous. Let's try to rephrase the sentences. Okay. Helen got to her office early this morning. 11 hours later, she's still there. Helen has been working in her office for 11 hours. Has Ellen been working for over 12 hours? No, Helen hasn't been working for over 12 hours. She has been working for 11 hours. Okay, because she started 11 hours before and she's still there. Not 12, but 11. Melanie has got a very interesting book. She started reading it quite a long time ago. We need to know how long. Melanie, how long have you been reading this interesting book? Stuart left to the water half an hour ago. He is not coming out yet. Question. What can we say about Stuart? How can we describe him? Stuart has been swimming for over half an hour. Stuart has been swimming for over half an hour. That's how we can explain the situation in present perfect continuous. Choose the right sentence. When she called, Natalie was having a violin lesson. When she called, Natalie had been having a violin lesson for an hour. Or when she called, Natalie has been having a violin lesson for an hour. The correct answer is when she called, Natalie had been having a violin lesson for an hour, because that was by the moment there was a call, and the call was in the past. It means the action is not going on later. So choose the correct one. Mary looks very upset. I think she had been crying. Mary looks very upset. I think she has been crying. The correct answer is Mary looks very upset. I think she has been crying. So here we stop with our revision for today. We are a little bit more than the frame of our lesson, 50-minute lesson. I want to summarize again that we use the present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous, basically talking about the same type of action, because this is perfect continuous action. But the difference is that present perfect continuous lasts up to now and past perfect continuous is over. Some process which was over before we started to discuss it. Thanks everyone for joining today's lesson. I really hope you're going to have a great practice with your task on the platform with some speaking practice. We got longer and longer structures of our sentences. We practice a lot with our process of seeing the sequence, the review of sequence of tenses. When we talk about sequence of tenses, this is about how we use two tenses together. And my great remark for you is just keep doing your practice exercises after lesson practice tasks, because they are very important for your better understanding of topics and for your better memory, for your better remembering of what we discuss here. So thanks everyone. I really wish we have a great lesson tomorrow with better connection, with better quality of signal, and I really hope it's going to be better tomorrow. Thanks everyone for joining. See you. Bye bye.